Hi guys, I'm Van Orn and welcome to another Dragonheir Silence God video. Week 1 of the Chief Challenge is finished and I want to use this opportunity to do a bit of a recap, see my progression so far, see what I've learned, and I thought this might be useful for you too, so see what I've changed in my composition and where I've been basically working on. And I am already working on the fourth team for the second week to add to the previous rotation. So if you are here just for the Necrosis team, I'm going to be putting the watermark down below somewhere, and you can skip ahead and go straight to that composition if you're not interested in seeing the progression. But let's look back at what was the first week for me. I've been basically working on my lightning team, ice blast and frost, and the fire team. I've been trying to perfect the gear, trying to get better timing where it was needed, and get everything in good order to push my score. And I managed to rank 65 overall on the leaderboard on my server, which is a very decent score for me. I've never ranked so high on these bosses, especially early on in the first few weeks. For me, it's always been a kind of a struggle. This season, I tried to tackle the construction of the team in a slightly different way, work already on alternatives, so I'm going to be more ready for the second phase when we're going to get to other world exploration and we're going to need more team for each of these bosses. So I start from where I thought my account was stronger, where I had more options to test and see where I can push my score, and then I start moving slowly down towards those bosses that are less strong in my opinion, at least from my account, where I can do less points, probably in lower scores. Now I made some mistakes over there, we're gonna see down in the video, but I've ranked 65 and I'm gonna put up on the screen my 3 team. The scores are pretty decent, nothing crazy. I mean, if you looked around on the internet or on Discord, you might have seen some of the crazy scores with over 100 millions per team. Well, my account is not there. Still managed to do some decent ones. 66 million for the Dauntless team. It's really good. I still don't have the ideal gear over there for Evelius in particular. I need to farm more gear and more runes to try to push that comp a bit higher. But 66 million is still a pretty respectable score. I've managed to push almost 65 million on the Ice Blast as well. What I've mixed Ice Blast and Frost, and we're gonna have a look at that one in particular in a minute. And then on my Fire team, I've pushed 52.7 million with the same comp you've seen in the video. I've just basically worked on the gear to try to get a little bit better score overall. But nothing has changed over there, and this team probably has been a bit of a letdown. Oh, I have to say, it's not been a letdown. It's been a good score, but I could have done better with another team that we're gonna see later. So let's jump into the boss. So I show you what I've done with the comps, where I've been going basically with layout, timing, and gear and everything. So let's use this boss over here. We're not gonna do any of the key anyway. Let's jump straight into this one and let's load my Dauntless team first so we can talk about that one. Basically, I've been changing up my composition from what you've seen in the video. I swapped out Iola and Nimbus, and I brought some heavy hitter over here, bringing in Garrett and Suta. Obviously, I have good options. I have this good legendaries, especially in Dauntless. I have a lot of champions, and so I thought I might push a higher score by bringing in some of these champions. When I've been doing the fight, I've been using the Garrett aura for 30% crit damage in battle. And the placement is this because I can't find a way to push Evelius attack higher than Garrett. Garrett has a passive that basically double his attack when you get hit slowly, and so the boss will keep hitting repeatedly him even if I place him somewhere else, because at some point the attack basically is going to grow to the point that it surpasses my Evelius, and therefore my the targeting from the boss will switch between Evelius to Garrett, and is going to basically damage my composition to the point that I can't push a super high score. So I basically changed the disposition and placed Garrett over here next to Nathaniel. Garrett is going to run in this position next to Fathom down. and they're gonna share the hit basically. I've noticed that if I put a few champions over there, there's kind of a less probability that the debuff are landing on Garrett, but this might be just a tinfoil hat situation. Garrett also don't really get too impacted by few of the debuff that there are over there, so I'm not too concerned about him. He's still doing one of my top score damage from the team. It's probably up there actually as the best damage dealer. He is absolutely incredible. I've geared him with the Emperor set and the crit rate glove to have his crit rate quite high. It's actually overboard a little bit, but I can't really do much else about it because I leveled this artifact up even more. Probably I'm gonna switch this one for a more damage dealing one for next week and see if I can push up even more damage. Fathom Down is also built with an attack chest and a crit rate gauntlet. I don't have any better gauntlet to put on him, so for now this will do. If I could, I would switch to an attack chest of the Emperor set and use one of those amazing gauntlets that does more damage when the decreased defense is out. Nathaniel is built with 2 and 2 sets. He has this Tundra set to get the skill haste and the HP, which benefit the shields and heals. Well, the heals are really not impacting, but the shield for sure. And the skill haste makes it circle much often. I'm trying to push skill haste as much as possible because I want these battle skills to go off as often as possible to remove the debuff and shields and heal the champions. And then I added 2 of these 2 sets over here, mainly because I have decent substats. And the Hourglass obviously doesn't bring much except like the accuracy, which we not need, but we have 100 skill haste, which is really good for what we're trying to do over here. So it's going to be 126 skill haste once in battle, and this will help him a lot with the shields and circling through the healing, as I said, and buff removing. Suta is built with the Emperor set and has a crit damage gloves. She only needs 70% crit rate. I am far from it, but she still do quite a decent job. I would love to change this one to something that works better with her passive, because her passive basically do a lot more damage than her active skills. Anivelius is built in the same way. It has the Unclean Descendant set, which basically enhances enlightenment and derivative damage. He does derivative damage through the passive. I would like to change his artifact too, but this one is the best I have so far to push his attack quite high. And I would love to use a different gauntlet as well, but unfortunately I don't have in that set anything that is usable. Let me show you actually what I'm talking about. I think it's the Magic Crystal Refinement, which has basically convert the skill haste. No, it's not. It's that Reckoning, not even. It's the Chaos Symbiosis Gauntlet. Basically, the wearer damage dealt 35%. The wearer deals 35% increased damage flat. So basically, even the passive will do 35% increased damage. The trade here is that the recharging of the ultimate will be slower. But the ultimate really is not where damage of Ivelius is from. Even if ignore defense and that's good damage, the damage comes from mostly from the passive. The problem is I have 2 amazing HP percentage glove on this set, and so I can't really use them. It's not an option, and so for now I will have to do with the Carnage one. The Carnage does damage when the decreased defense is out. Fathom Down, keep it up quite consistently because it's up for almost 13 seconds through the fight of 18-second rotation, 20 seconds for his ultimate really. So for most of the fight, the decreased defense is out and he's doing decent damage. It's a good comp. There's a lot I can do on the runes in particular, where I still don't have very good one. I need to get some attack, I need to get some crit rate, I need to get better runes, and I need probably to farm some gear to try to push the right sets, the right combination of sets and mythic, and I can push the score even higher. But still, as I said, 66 million is still a relevant score, and I'm quite pleased with that for now. When it comes to my timing, I've timed the skills this way. Fathom Down has his first ultimate at 11.7 seconds, hits 8 times, so I want to give a little bit of time before the ultimates of my DPS are going out, and I'm basically be sure that the decreased defense is out, so I timed the ultimates at 12.5 seconds. The recharge time is 19.5, 19.5, and 19.5 on all of them, so they're gonna keep up on time. I don't time Evelius because his ultimate ignore 100% of the defense, so it doesn't change for me when he hits. I just let it go, it doesn't matter, and it's gonna boost the damage of the others. It's gonna take more, do more damage every time. Basically, the other Dauntless team are going to hit through the passive, and so I'm not too worried about his timing. So we can move on the next comp that I want to show you. And the next one will be my Frost team, which I'm gonna put up here on the screen. From when I've done the video where I was showing 4 Ice Blast champion, I've decided to switch things up a little bit. Shina is the only champion in Ice Blast that can basically sustain and boost the damage of 3 DPS from Ice Blast. Blooding is not able to do that because his passive grant crystal to the highest, or his ultimate attack 3 times, grant 20% attacks up for 10 seconds, and 2 stack of ice crystal to the hero and the Ice Blast ally with the highest attack. So it's basically gonna boost himself and the highest attack Ice Blast. If you run 4 Ice Blast with bleeding, it's gonna always target your highest one, which is going to be Gertin in my case. And so the other 2 basically are gonna be left to just boost themselves through their ultimates to put up 1 ice crystal at a time. And so the score is not gonna be that high because the crystal can fall off at the wrong time. And so the battle skills will not double hit. You're not gonna get that amazing of damage. And therefore, during my testing, I've tried to switch as well to a different comp. I brought in Rava because it has also a crit damage in all battle aura, which boosts my damage. And I built him with the Crown Onion Clean, which allow me to build for more damage, bleeding, which is very good DPS. But I put my best gear on Gertin and Usha. I'm using bleeding to basically be sure that it's gonna put up all those ice crystals, and Gertin's gonna go ham. She has a very decent build. I'm using the Rivatrix route. She's in an Emperor set with attack, crit rate, crit damage. She only needs 80% crit rate, and I'm using these Carnage gloves, which again boost the damage when the decreased defense is out. I need a better attack negative rune, but once I will done that, she will do even more damage. She does crazy damage on this fight, and she combined the damage with Usha, which is built in a very similar way. I've just pushed more crit rate on her with an arcane music box, which again I've leveled to 20 only after I've saved all the fights. So now my crit rate is going to be too high pretty much everywhere. I'm gonna have to play around with the gear to lower down the crit rate a little bit and push more crit damage and more attack. But she's built in the same way. She has a crit rate Carnage instead to be sure that crits every single time. She's gonna also double hit when she has the shield. She plays the shield on herself. When there's frost, is gonna be doing more damage. And the frost is broke by Rava, which is built with the Crown Onion Clean. The Witch's Remain. The Crown Onion Clean was last season. Witch's Remain is for now, and bring frost quite consistently on the enemy. I'm gonna place the decreased defense as a multi-hit ultimate that hits I think 5 times if I'm not wrong, and it's gonna hit every 1.5 seconds for 10 seconds, so a lot of times, and it's gonna basically place the decreased defense quite consistently. This comp is very simple. I've used the Puppeteer set on Furbat because I don't need him to soak the damage from anybody else. I need him instead to share his defense with the champions next to him to keep them alive. The boss doesn't hit that hard apparently, and so I can basically circle back with the hourglass to decrease attack and the right timing basically. So what I'm doing here basically, I am placing the decrease attack just in time basically before the ultimate happens on a 18-second circle. I'm timing Usha and Bladin to go after Rava. I give a bit of space so I'm sure that the decrease defense is always up, and I leave Gerting free to go because she has a much shorter ultimate time. The ultimate hits hard, but I don't want to waste damage by stretching it out 5 seconds longer. She does more damage this way, and most of her damage comes from the battle skills, which is difficult to time anyway, so I just leave it like this. So the last team I've been using in week 1 has been the fire team, and you can see it up here on the screen. Nothing really has changed over there except for the gear. Let's have a look at the timing first. As you can see, I'm timing pretty much everyone. I want to be sure that Garius does the shield just before the hit of the boss, so his time is 17-18 seconds. He's gonna shield the team up just before the ultimate of the boss, which is the only one that really do a lot of damage. I've timed Tia to basically place the decreased defense. She's timed at 11.5, 19.5. I'm not using the passive that boosts their ultimate. I'm trying to keep it as quick as possible, but I need also to keep everybody else in time. I have Erich at 19.5 seconds. I've noticed that if I let her run, the decreased defense goes off, and basically my hits are going to hit off of the decreased defense, and therefore my damage is going to be lower. And I've timed also the first hit from Victor, because I want that to hit on the decreased defense as well, and he has a 19.5 second on an ultimate as well, so everybody's going to be hitting on decreased defense all the time. I need to keep an eye on this run, as I said the first time, because if Victor plays the recharge speed penalty, I need to retime Garius' ultimate to keep up with the boss. So that if the recharge speed penalty goes up, I postpone the ultimate of Garius just before the ultimate to have the shield up basically, and keep everybody safe and healthy throughout the entire fight. That's everything I need to do. Now, as I said, these 3 comps have done the scores that we've seen before and give me the 65th place on the leaderboard, which has been really good. A lot of resources coming from there, but I have also a lot of champions to be able to test and try different combination for this composition. And so I have also been able to place myself quite well on the champion training event, which goes on every week pretty much, and I score on a 13th place, getting a lot of material for the Psyche Core, and to level more artifact, potion, will marrow, everything that comes from there is quite good, boost your account. So it's nice to push and get some good rewards for that. They're gonna help because now I can build my Psyche Core much better and quicker, and so getting better results. That's pretty much everything to show you about the first week. And while I was doing this, I saved my score, I think one day before the reset, which was this morning. So yesterday I haven't done any of the fight on the boss, and I start working on my comp for the next week, which is going to be my Necrosis team. I've saw online a few videos, and in particular one from Odd One Gaming, which was using Ozum and Asphalta to basically cheese the boss by jumping on the back. And I thought, oh, I have those champions, let me try what I can do as well and see if I can find some quirky solution here. And I've been working on something fun. I'm not sure it works 100% as I want, but I want to show you anyway where I am right now and what I'm thinking to do for trying to improve this comp for the next few days, and hopefully push more damage until the end of the week. So let me load the comp and you can see what I've been doing. My Necrosis team is this one, And as you can see, I don't have a proper healer over here. I have Zarlot, which does some heal, but is not considered a proper healer. And it's in a particular build that is trying to keep everybody alive for the entirety of the fight. Odd One was using Megan, which is interesting because she boosts the ultimate, and I believe that boost goes always on Quasitia. Quasitia has an amazing ultimate, so that might help as well. I'm gonna try to build Megan and try instead of Zarlot and see if I can get better results. But for now, this is what I have. I had it already built, and so I wanted to try out something funny and different, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. So let's start from the tank. The tank is very important and is what is going to keep your comp running, because we're gonna trick the boss to basically focus only on your tank, and it's gonna do some splash damage through the ultimate, I believe, which does damage area around him. So it's gonna hit your backline, the backline behind the boss, the two melee champions. But the important part is going to be Quasitia, because as long as the boss is focused on Quasitia, the only hits they're going to go to anybody else is going to be that splash damage. And so she needs to survive. And she's built with the Tundra set instead of the protection one, because I need her to basically sustain that damage. The boss is not going to crit, and so she's going to mitigate that damage by 25%, which is a lot. She has the hourglass, so I'm trying to circle back to her ultimate as fast as possible. She has an ultimate that pushed the ultimate energy of the boss back by 10% 3 times, so up to 30%, which is a lot. And she plays attack penalty 2, which is going to help everybody survive, basically. On her battle skills, she plays healing prohibition, which we don't care. But on her passive, she plays a recharge speed penalty. She has 25% chance of inflicting recharge speed penalty. It goes up to 35%. The hero takes 30% less damage from basic attack. That helps a lot. And she is a very, very good champion. If you don't have her, there are some alternatives. You can use Rippercuss. Rippercuss has a very similar kit, but more inconsistent. I like Rippercuss a lot. I haven't tried yet. I haven't built him. But it could do a similar job. It pushed the ultimate back. He plays decreased attack, recharge speed penalty, buff prohibition, and healing prohibition, I believe. But it's random. And so I wouldn't really suggest using him. If you have him and is your only options, well, maybe you can use it, and you're gonna have to try the run few times. A champion that you can use instead is a champion that everybody should have if you've done season 2 correctly and you farm Pillar of Trial, and that champion is Curza. Curza is absolutely amazing. It's probably one of the best champion that came out from Pillar and Fae. I absolutely love this champion. Just build a tanky. You build her tanky, she's gonna survive. She have good stat when she's built correctly. She has an ultimate that strikes 3 times, and each one dealing 300% attack necrotic damage with a 50% chance of inflicting recharge speed penalty and attack penalty when she's leveled. So you're gonna have 100% chance and 75% chance of placing recharge speed penalty on 3 hits. This means that you're gonna have it up pretty much for the entire of the fight, and you're gonna have your attack, the attack penalty as well. And she's gonna place shield prohibition. This boss doesn't do shields, but you can use this champion somewhere else, like on the Frost domain and the Grave of Curse, when the boss plays shield on itself. It's on a battle skill, so it's not always so easy to time, but you can work with her. She's an amazing, amazing champion. Don't forget about this epic, because it can help you a lot. The hero grants 50% ultimate energy whenever an ally is inflicted with a debuff. This is not the case. Well, it plays actually Frost boss, so it could actually help her cycle even faster through her ultimate. So that is something that I almost forgot, but she is an absolutely unit. You should not forget of this champion. She's absolutely amazing. So the tank is out of the way. Now we spoke about the options. Now let's talk about my enabler here, because I'm using Shadow, which is a school of damage that I've never used before, and I was curious to see how it did work. And I had a look a few videos online because others have been playing from the beginning of the season with Shadow, and I saw that Taldi is a lady actually, even if she looks like Voresh. She is a perfect enabler for this, basically for the school of damage. Let's start from the passive. Dealing damage grants shadow energy. When the hero has enough shadow energy, they can cast their ultimate skill. When gaining shadow energy, grants 30% of the obtained energy to other shadow allies. So every time she basically recharge her ultimate or their shadow energy, she's gonna share 30% of that with everybody else on the shadow's allies. So she's gonna keep boosting everybody, and you're gonna see that when I'm gonna play it first in a second. The battle skills cast the spell 3 times, each time granting the hero 15 shadow energy. So it means that it's going to share basically 5 or 4.5 with everybody else. On the ultimate, strike the enemy with range 3 times again, with each strike dealing 235 attack necrosis damage, granting all shadow allies 5 shadows energy. So she's again boosting everybody all the time. She is incredible because she can keep up the decreased defense for almost the entirety of the fight, and she keeps boosting the 2 DPS over and over and over. The ultimates are going to be going off one after the other constantly when you proc the shadow in particular, and Ozu is going to stay in his demon form for the entirety of the fight after he transformed the first time, and he's gonna do crazy damage. Now, we've been talking about the DPS, let's have a look at that. I'm using Asphalta. As you can see, she's not scrolled. I haven't scrolled it yet, and you're going to see the score and the final results in a minute. The gear is not ideal again. I need to find a good negative rune with attack. She's at the moment using a defense one to try to keep it a bit alive. If I can get a good one with some defense roll and crit rate, she's going to be on spot where I want it to be. She has Emperor set, and she runs a crit rate gauntlet. She hits decently hard, and she has the eyeball giant because she's going to use the ultimate over and over and over. And so I want her to basically get that boost from the 20% damage increase of her ultimate. She does 140k roughly when she hits on decreased defense. For some reason, the damage seems to get lower and lower during the fight, and I'm still struggling to understand that. But let's read the kit and see if there's something there that tells me what is happening. Dealing damage grants shadow energy. When the hero has enough shadow energy, they can cast their ultimate skills. As the battle stars, grant 80 stack of Heart of Hate to all shadow allies, and lose 1 stack of this status every 1 second afterward. Maybe that's the reason. Throw a shadow blade at the target, dealing 300 attack necrotic damage to them and 200 attack necrotic damage to enemy with a target center range. In the meantime, grant 10 shadows energy for each enemy hit and gains an additional 200% shadow energy when casting these skills in battle for the first time. Runs 20 shadow energy to all shadow allies. Strike enemies when ranged 3 times, with each strike dealing 200 attack necrotic damage, ignoring 50% of the enemy defense. Now, that basically buff that she gets in the beginning increased the damage by 0.5, and that's probably why she loses damage over the fight. I should have read the kit better actually, but she basically gonna slowly lose that during the fight, and therefore she's gonna lose damage. I'm using her aura as well because she's increased the attack by 30% in all battle, and we need that attack up basically for the entirety of the fight. The last DPS is going to be Ozol, and you can see, still not scroll as well. I built him also with the Emperor set. He has the Rivatrix route to get him more attack, more HP, crit damage, positive runes, and attack negative runes. Not a crazy one. Has good substats, but the rolls didn't went really what I wanted. But I keep him alive, and so still doing the job. He has decent crit rate, decent crit damage, decent attack, and he does a lot of damage. Now, when he transforms, I think his attacks are going to be counted as basic attacks, so it will be better to change the artifact But for the moment, I can't level anything else. I don't have the material for doing so. So let's read the kit. It has a passive, the dealing damage grants shadow energy. When the hero has enough shadow energy, they can cast their ultimate skill. The hero permanently gains 1 stack of undispellable host imprint for every 50 shadow energy obtained, up to 5 stack. Each stack increases crit damage by 10% and defense penetration by 5%. That's why this champion is so incredible. In long fights, his damage keep ramping up for the entirety of the fight, and it's very, very interesting. I might actually could consider to go with the attack positive rune if I had a good one, because the crit damage will increase during the fight, and so maybe I could consider doing that. I'm gonna try that in the future and see if that boosts the damage even more. But the battle skills fire an orb at the target, dealing 330 attack necrotic damage to the target and enemy around them. Gains 30 shadow energy when the hero is in demon form. Deals 600% attack necrotic damage to enemy with 2 tiles around the hero instead, and then gains 20 shadow energy. And this is the skill that's going to go off and off all the time, because you're going to switch to demon form and then use the battle skills over and over. So the ultimate, transform into a demon in the designated location. While in demon form, the hero gains attack speed up and damage reduction, which help him stay alive. With their basic attack, splash on enemy around the target. Basic attack increase to 200 attack necrotic damage, then deals 750 attack necrotic damage to enemy within range. The hero consumes 10 shadow energy every 1 second in demon form and exit it when shadow energy is dispelled. Now he's not scroll as well, so when he's going to transform in demon form, he's going to use the basic attack, which is going to do a lot of damage, and then he's going to use the battle skills basically. I could try the manticore on him also, because obviously we're going to do a lot of basic attack and battle skills as well. But again, I haven't leveled those artifacts yet, so I need to try and see what I can do. Now here, the Carnage gauntlets are going to be very, very important. The decreased defense is going to be up all the time, and so that is going to be crazy, crazy important and improving your damage quite a lot. The last champion is going to be none other than Zarlot. Now, I was looking for a healer, and obviously the options for Necrotic are Megan and Estella. Both of them will probably keep the team running, but will bring 0 to none damage probably. And so I was trying to see if I could squeeze in a champion that could bring some heal and keep the team alive. And so I was talking in Discord yesterday, and while I was talking, I was thinking about a weird build that I try out, and it is working. It's not consistent, and I had to run the comms a few times to get the result I want, but it's working. And so I want to show you the option, and then I'm gonna test this week when I'm gonna build either Megan or Estella, which one of the option is better. But for now, Zarlot is built like this, and is a bit of a wild build. He is built with the Gatekeeper stuff, which give him skill haste. And then he has 2 pieces of Emperor sets. We give him attack and skill haste. He has an attack percentage chest, which basically is the Moonlight one, that has a 50% chance of increasing healing and shield. And he has an Energy Harvester gauntlet, which transform 1 skill haste in 15 attack. And he has an attack and attack positive and negative runes. And this is because basically he has a very particular kit. Let's read it, and so we try to understand why I'm gearing it like that. Every 4 basic attack heals the ally with the lowest current HP by 300 attack with a 100% chance of inflicting silence on the enemy for 5 seconds. Now we have no accuracy, so we're not going to care about debuff and control. But what is happening is every 4th attack is going to heal 300% of his attack. And therefore I'm pushing the attack high. He's not going to take any damage, and so I can push the attack high everywhere. He has over 5,000 attack, and when you transform the skill haste, The 87 skill haste times 15 is going to be over 6,000 attack, basically. 6,330 if I'm not wrong, if the calculation is right in my mind. That is a lot of attack, and it's going to do it 3 times as much every 4th attack, and so that one is going to basically put a lot of heal and shield on the champion that has the lowest HP in that moment, saving it up basically. I've tried also to switch to the 2 species sets that basically give him more attack speed to try to get around that heal more often, but this seems to work better because I can convert it to attack and then the heals are higher and it's not needed. That minimal difference that will do a 2-piece set is not really what makes the team running or not. On the battle skill, deal necrotic damage to enemy within range with a 75% chance of inflicting recharge speed penalty. It's not built with accuracy, and so I'm not gonna basically care about this recharge speed penalty, and the main reason is because Quasitia has it on a passive, so it's kind of overlapping skills over here, so I'm not gonna be caring about the accuracy at all, as you can see. And on the ultimate, summon the prisons at the design location for 5 seconds, dealing 162 attack necrotic damage to enemy within range every 1 second for the duration of the prison, with a 35% chance of inflicting fear an enemy for 5 seconds. We really don't care about that neither. Heals all allied by 30% of the attack at the meantime. Each enemy hit by this skill increased the healing by 15%. Now, if there was a lot more enemies, this will do a lot more healing. This is not the case over here. I might gonna try this one somewhere else and see if this is actually working as I want, but over here it does some decent healing and shielding at the same time, most of the time. As I said, I'm mostly relying on a passive, and so sometimes it's a bit inconsistent because it doesn't go always what I want. But let's run the run for a second so I show you what I'm basically doing on the fight. And I've been copying this strategy entirely from Mod 1, so prize due where they're due. He is the one that came out with this cheese, and you're basically going to jump on the back with both your DPS like that, and they're not going to get hit. And now he's in demon form, and he's going to keep the demon form for the entirety of the fight. As you can see, the shield are starting to get up, and you have to manual Asphalta ultimate every single time to keep her in that position. If you put it on auto, she's going to go off, and she's not going to basically stay safe behind the boss. As you can see, decreased defense is out for most of the fight. I'm gonna keep hitting 130 per hit. Ozu is already doing crazy damage up there, and Zalot is keeping everybody quite well alive. You can see the shield is quite good, so he is doing a good job in healing and shielding at the moment, and he's gonna try to do so until the end of the fight. Sometimes, unfortunately, the 2 DPS get low and you can only heal one of them at the time with the battle skill, with the passive, and therefore we might lose 1 DPS a few seconds at the end of the fight. I'm not gonna keep you here for the entirety of this fight. Just remember that my 2 DPS are not even scrolled. And I'm gonna put up on the screen the results I got from this comp yesterday, and that's why I regret having saved that fire team, because I've been able to push over 69 million with this comp with 2 DPS not scrolled, and it's pretty crazy. I wish I waited a day longer to save my worst one. I didn't know actually where the result would have been, because I was not sure if this comp with unscrolled champion would have done similar results to what Odd One made with his one. He has also the exclusive artifact, and so I thought, well, I'm risking here, because if the comp doesn't do a lot of damage, I then have to go back to fire, and I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to repeat the score I wanted. So when I had a high score on fire, I've saved it basically, and I didn't even know if I had the time to build entirely this comp. Turn out I did, and turn out I should have waited. So it's not a problem. If you make a little mistake, it's still gonna be fine. We are testing these cons and building damage all the time, and we're going to keep ramping up the damage as much as we can until the end of the season, when we're going to pass to the otherworld exploration, and we're going to have to find an alternative solution. Now, while this comp is still running, let me talk about alternatives. We are over 33 millions here at half fight. Meanwhile, the alternatives are out there actually, and it's been shown from most content creator out on internet. You can use Zadok and Joyce as DPS. They both quite good DPS, range DPS from Necrosis. They're gonna get you over 22 million. You can use alternative from the healing. Megan and Estella in particular comes to mind, and you're gonna be able to boost your damage quite well even without this crazy comp. Now, I'm not just going for the 22 million. I'm trying to get competitive scores and be on the leaderboard because I like to do so, and I have the champion for this comp, and so why not going for it? I'm gonna scroll them in the next few days and see how far I can push this score for this season, for this week, in season 3, week 2, and I'm gonna see you with another report from the week next week, when we're gonna see my progression and hopefully the team for the week after, which I'm thinking probably going to be the Radiant team. I don't think I can build a poison one yet. I don't have Rook, and it's going to be difficult to get a good score going without him. It is very, very difficult to run that boss, and Rook make it easier and push crazy damage up there. And I don't think my team can beat that strong. As you can see, we lost Asphalt over here. This is bad RNG, and so this run will obviously not be possible to be safe for me. Still over 53 million at the moment with a minute to go, and everybody else who want to stay alive. I need to keep Asphalt alive for the entirety of the fight. I'm lost at least 2 millions over there from her dying. Not a big drama, to be honest. It's still a crazy comp, and I'm gonna leave it up in the video because, you know, sometimes fails are good, and I'm probably gonna have to rerun it many times this week until I get the score I want after I scroll all the champion. Enough blabbing for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you want and if you enjoy the content, please consider liking and subscribing. It's very easy. You just need to click on the watermark on my side, and I think it's that side. And thank you again for watching. I'm gonna see you soon with another video about Dragonheir Silence God.